I think I could.
The 2024 closed meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Chris moves, Ken seconds.
Thank you. Chris Espinoza,
Aye.
Ken Dawson,
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller,
Abstain, I think I missed January 22nd.
Jenny Hagstrom,
Aye.
Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Kara Caston,
Aye.
and Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 4, are there any visitors, Julie?
No, sir.
No slips. Okay. Turn it over to you, Hank, for item 5. Second.
The first one is a meeting that happens each year that Scott organizes. And this is the Parent-Teacher Advisory Committee. We meet each year to review the student handbook and other disciplinary matters. And we always ask for 2 volunteers from the board to serve on that committee. And they're going to meet the night of April 29th in person. So if somebody's hot to trot tonight and wants to let Don know, you can. Otherwise, we'll just send it out via email and ask for volunteers.
Any takers tonight?
April,
What's the date?
It's
I
Monday.
mean, what's the day of the
It's a
week?
Monday.
Monday?
Monday,
I'll
the
volunteer.
week after Easter.
Ken?
I'll do that.
Chris?
Ken and
Ken
Chris.
and Chris. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. The next item is our ongoing work towards the working cash bond issuance. There's an action item later tonight. I'll turn it over to Jeree.
Yes, tonight is just another step in the process of having the board approve the resolution so that we can actually issue the working cash bonds. We anticipate we'll do the bond sale in mid-March, with the closing probably about the 3rd week in March. Does anybody have any questions on anything that was presented in your packet regarding the details of the bonds.
Nothing's changed since the last time.
No.
It's just the pathway forward.
Yep.
Lots of steps. All right. There's an action item later on tonight for that resolution that Jerry mentioned. Freedom of information requests. We have filled those we have received, and all of those are listed on the website as public documents. And that's it for superintendent's report.
Okay, thanks for the brevity. Item 6, consent agenda. Is there any item a board member would like to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, then I need a motion for the Board of Education to approve the consent agenda as presented, which includes item A, personnel report, appointment administration appointment certified, contract adjustment certified, transfer of position classified, appointment classified. Item B, personnel report, retirement certified, resignation certified, resignation classified, retirement classified. Item C, January treasurer's report and January financial pages. Item D, student trip, and item E, acceptance of grant, Downers Grove Junior Women's Club.
So moved.
Second.
Terry move, Ken second.
Thank you. Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Krista Espinoza.
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller. Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Kara Caston.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries, and thanks again to the Downers Grove Junior Women's Club for their generous donation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Item 7, recommendations for action. The next item for consideration is the issuance of not to exceed $5.2 million general obligation limited bonds to be issued by the district pursuant to Article 20 of the school code for the purpose of increasing the district's working cash fund. The Board of Education will consider the adoption of a resolution providing for the issue of said bonds and the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest thereon. The resolution sets forth the parameters for the issuance of the bonds and sale thereof by designated officials of the district, including the specific parameters governing the manner of sale, length of maturity, rates of interest, purchase price, and tax levy for said bonds. I need a motion for the Board of Education to adopt the resolution providing for the issue of not to exceed $5.2 million of general obligation limited tax school bonds, Series 2024 of Community High School District Number 99, DuPage County, Illinois, for the purpose of increasing the working cash fund of said school district, providing for the levy of the direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest in said bonds, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
So moved.
Second.
Terry first, Chris second.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Julie, please call the roll on the motion to adopt the said resolution.
Terry Pavasich.
Aye.
Krista Espinoza.
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom.
Aye.
Kara Caston.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carried, and the resolution is adopted. Julie, please record this in the records of the board. Okay, item 8, old business.
Nope.
And item 9, any new business?
Yes, policy committee report, the report of first reading of policies, all of these are in your board packet. We met and went through them. The majority, well, I think nearly all of them are changes that are either kind of clerical in nature or are in response to state or federal law changes. Nothing really in here stood out as major concerns to the policy committee. Chris or
I think that's an accurate portrayal.
Yeah.
so it's
Pretty straightforward.
pretty straightforward cleanup. All of them are linked in your board packet if you want to go through those changes. If you have questions that come up as you review those, Chris, Don, or I are happy to answer any of those. Red line versions will be available in advance of the next board meeting
They're
in
in
your
there.
packet, as usual.
Okay, item 10, reception of visitors for public comment. Julie, do we have any slips?
No, sir.
Okay. Item 11, communications and announcements. Jenny, do you have anything to report on Lynn?
I do. Since we, feast or famine, we've had 2 meetings since we last did. So the first, sorry, am I talking into
No,
2
no, no.
microphones? The first meeting was January 26th, And that was sort of our, kind of our welcome back meeting after we hadn't had one since November. So the LEND representatives, we sort of reconvened. They reintroduced themselves, their objectives, their roles. They're continuously monitoring any of the K through 12 related legislation that comes before the General Assembly in Springfield, and they report back to all of the member districts in DuPage County. At that particular meeting, they discussed some of the recent snow days, which sounds like it was way, way, way long time ago now. But they had talked a little bit about how there's a couple of nuances in the ways that Illinois laws are written, and that it's a little bit difficult to have late start days versus fully canceled school days, which is I just found it a little interesting as a parent and a board member. A lot of it has to do with the way that Illinois tracks days of instruction, and so that was kind of interesting. Another thing that they did discuss at that meeting, which then carried on to the next meeting, was we are pushing forward probably the one that's moving along the most forward is schools as polling places. We're going to probably have a law in place soon that using a school as a polling place will require board approval in the future, and that you will that they will need to have kind of exhausted all other options before they come to the school districts and look, and asking to use a school as a polling place in the future. That was the January 26th. I typed those notes out, and I didn't get a chance. We had a meeting on Friday, and I didn't get a chance to type those out yet, so I'm going to switch over to paper. The other thing that we did discuss on the 26th is legislation is kind of moving forward still on using multifunction activity buses during the day, so long as the driver holds a regular valid driver's license and is an employee or a contractual employee of the school district. And that's a bill that Hank has been really trying to push forward for a long time. If you ever want to get a firsthand look at how long it takes something to move forward in Illinois, this is like probably since...
This is the third legislation.
Yeah, exactly. But it was counting.
Years.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just move very quickly, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much move too quickly since I've been involved. So yeah, then we had another meeting on Friday, and we talked again about the polling place law, which is probably the fastest moving activity right now. They touched on a little bit of some of the dual credit and dual enrollment classes and some of the kind of the staffing concerns that come up with that. Sometimes districts don't have the right the certifications of the teachers and things like that, so they're looking kind of for some flexibility. I don't know if that's quite the right word. They talked
more consistency than
maybe
flexibility.
consistent. Yeah. So they talked a little bit about having some migrant students coming in and out of districts and how we can account for that in terms of budgets and percentages of enrollment and staffing, because it can fluctuate and it's hard for districts to account for changes on a short notice or quick turnarounds for timelines and that. They talked a lot about, I guess, a tier 2 pension fix, which I wasn't totally into, but there was a lot of discussion about the proposals that they have are really, didn't sound like it was very favorable to the teachers and staff, and they wanted to go to kind of a single option for the teachers and staff.
This was for 403B plans.
Yeah.
Schools would only be able to offer one plan.
Yeah, and that would not be well received. And then they had a kind of a weird talk about someone wanted to propose a 18-hour-a-week practice limit for sports, which sounded like that would die pretty quickly. Yeah. because they said that's what they thought NCAA athletes practiced, and someone was like, no, NCAA athletes practice a lot more than 18 hours a week.
24/7.
Yeah.
Well, and the bill isn't as nuanced as the NCAA rules. Like, the
Yeah.
NCAA rules, when there's talking about, it's 20 hours at NCAA. But what they define as practice time is that actual contact, like on the field time. Everything else, like team meetings and, all of that is separate from that time, right? So the way that the bill is written, it's not discrete enough to capture what actually happens with what's there.
Yeah. And then at the end, we had kind of a speaker come on and talk a little bit about a bilingual English language survey that was going out, and they're hoping to kind of fast track that for fall, working to capture some more accurate information and make sure that it goes, they're not, I think, bypassing parents. They were worried about the way they were capturing and tracking that information and making sure they had proper consents and things like that. So that was that, and I think the next one will be in March, so.
Yeah, we'll be busy. There's
Yeah.
over 10,000 pieces of legislation that were proposed. At least 1,000 of those speak directly impacts on schools. So this is where we'll administratively spending a lot of time, like tracking these things, providing input, trying to figure out the impact on us that they might involve.
The election polling places, are they suggesting that schools be closed that day?
Well,
If they
that's,
use them
yeah, I
as-
think that's the current
And are they
issue.
going to give them that day as a,
So there's been a variety of approaches along the way. Right now, we can't prevent one of our schools from serving as a polling place, which then leads schools, depending on like their physical location, and with concerns around school security right now, especially smaller schools, it makes it very difficult to both secure the building and leave it open to the public at the same time. So options right now are just cancel school that day or make that a teacher institute day. There's some e-learning options if schools do have an e-learning plan, right? So, but those days would count towards your emergency day learning days as well, right? So there's not a real good option in here. In District 99, we've been able to host this because, not super easy, but we can kind of cordon off like a field house and make that open to the public and bring students in and out. The public in and out, they don't mix with our students, right? But especially small elementary schools, this is really tough, and superintendents have received a lot of pushback from parents that don't want the public just accessing the building during the school day.
School stays open in the
The
past
schools- yeah,
when
right.
you did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. So you come in and maybe vote in the lobby, but then there's kids walking by and
Yeah.
you're in the building now, right? So this has been a pressure point for the last several years. And schools really have no ability to tell the election commission, like, no, our place is not available. We have to accept that if they pick our place. So this would give local school boards the authority, like if they wanted to use North or South High or T99, we would have to come to the board. We'd have to say, like, this is what they're asking for, this would be the impact on our schools and our students, and then the board would have to actively consent to us being a polling place. It couldn't be just decided that that's what was gonna happen.
I guess I look at it as we've got multiple locations, and if we close one location for the polling place, is that fair to the other locations that are open?
Yeah.
So,
we
it's
factored
a
all
multiple
Yeah.
choice kind of thing.
I don't think it impacts us as, we have big buildings,
Right.
right? But
Right.
if you're a little small elementary school, this is a major impact on them.
I think what's new is that the onus would be on the election commission to try to find other options
Locations.
before they just resort to using a school. And they have to show that they did that
Well, there's a
before
lot
they.
of churches in the area that I would think would be an easier location, but What do I know?
That would be for the election commission.
Yeah.
What do I know? Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on Lend? All right, Sherelle or Dr. Thiele, a report on SASSA?
We went to the last meeting, I was out.
You were out. Yeah, we had our first joint meeting of both boards, and we looked at really strategic planning and finances. Everything is going well. We're working on bringing in our new executive director. We're in that transition period right now. And then they're going to begin negotiations here in the spring. And I have been selected with great honors to serve on the negotiation committee, so I will be, or negotiation team. So tomorrow I spend the evening going through interspace bargaining training again. And then I will be one of the superintendents that's serving on the negotiation team. So that's really the big thing this spring, is working through that process. I know Dree's been working with them closely on transportation and those kinds of things. So those are the big focus right now: transition to the new executive director, contract negotiations, and transportation contract.
Okay. Terry, can we get a report on the Education Foundation, please?
Yes. We just met the other night, and next month we will have our first teacher grants with big checks. And so that should be nice to have them here at the board meeting and receive their check. And we were a little disappointed in the outcome of the Dr. McDonald scholarship.
Well, it's the initial start. We got to grow it a little bit.
Yes. And so we're just wondering what our next steps are going to be. And it wasn't as robust as we would have liked. So we're thinking what else we can do to promote that and to, so I'm sure Julia will be getting with you and kind of.
We're meeting this week to discuss it with our team of how we can assist the foundation in getting it work.
Yeah, because it's very worthwhile, and I think, a lot of people would like to see Dr. McDonald's name attached to a scholarship. So I think it's really imperative. So if you would like to donate anyone to the scholarship, you can go onto our website, and it's one of the areas where you can click on and donate. So, if the need hits you, by all means, go to that one, because it goes back to our students. And so it would be a good thing. And our 2 new members came this last time, so we are doing well. So that's all I have, unless you have something, Kira?
I just wanted to add that the board was very appreciative of all the great pictures that Joel Browning sent, and if you go to the website, ef99.org, there's lots of great new pictures of the recipients, which I thought was exciting.
Yep, see those grants
Thank
in
you to Jill.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of students in the pictures,
Yeah.
so great to see.
So we just have to make sure that when we give money, these big checks, we need big pictures
Absolutely.
to go with it. So it's an important thing.
Thank you, Terry. Ken, can we get a report on IASB?
The DuPage Division meeting will be held next week on Tuesday, March 5th, being hosted by Wheaton Warrenville. So that should be very interesting, and have a lot more to report after that meeting.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to go, please let me know if you haven't already.
Okay.
Get you registered.
Yeah, because she contacted me to see if we were coming.
Did anybody do it?
Sounds like Ken.
Hopefully I will be. I plan to.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there.
And Terry has indicated you.
Okay. Upcoming board meetings, our next board meeting will be March 4th, 2024. Be a workshop meeting here at 6:30, and then our regular board meeting is March 18th, also at 6:30 here at the ASC. Item number 13, going into closed session. I need a motion from the Board of Education to go into closed session for A, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the district, or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity. And then item B, collective negotiating matters between the district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees.
So moved.
Before we do that, I had one more thing I wanted to address as a board, if possible.
We need
Yeah,
to second
let's
this,
get a
and then
second first, and then
Okay.
we can,
I'll second it.
okay, Chris, and then Terry second. Yes. Okay.
I just wanted to highlight for our community to know, if they don't already know, about Downers South being featured on Friday's CBS News. It went from the morning throughout the afternoon. Thank you to everybody that was involved in it. Thank you to the CBS team that put it on. The production was phenomenal. Our school looked phenomenal. The students and teachers, which were highlighted, were incredible. And just a call out to the community to, if you haven't had a chance to see it, you can see it online. And it's really a really tribute, not only to our schools and the great things going on in the schools, but the whole Downers Grove community. So it was really, really fantastic.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And the second place for the speech team, fabulous. And then the girls' gymnastics team got second place in state. So
You'll see them soon.
we are
Invited
just,
to come see you.
we are just doing fabulously. So our students are keeping up the good work, and there's more to come. Because I'm sure we've got track and field coming up, we've got basketball,
sports, a lot of
we've got
spring
basketball at North, so.
Soccer?
And girls soccer. Right. So there's plenty of activities. So, thank you.
Then, Julie, can you call the roll on the motion for going into closed session, please?
Chris Espinoza,
Aye.
Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Kara Caston,
Aye.
Ken Dawson,
Aye.
Aye.
Jenny Hagstrom,
Aye.
and Don Renner.
The motion carries, and for the public, the board will not be taking any action other than to adjourn when it comes out of closed session. Thank you very much.
Virginia? All right, good going.